Hi, welcome back. Today's topic is overthinking. And I feel that a lot of people that do not overthink do not understand people that overthink, especially if you're sensitive soul too. So if you combine with overthinking and sensitive soul, watch this. Or if you have other people in your life that have this aspect of themselves, then keep listening. So what happens is that if you think about it, somebody is overthinking. Their energy is very speedy. It goes around like this, like you're in the eye of a tornado spinning around. So all their thoughts are firing at them in million miles an hour, right? So there's tons of information. In one sense, have you ever noticed when they talk, there's a lot of details to the very excruciating part of the finest thing, and it takes a while for them to finish a story. But to them, it is very important for somebody else to understand the full story. It's very important to realize what else is going on, the nuances of what you have to feel and what you had to go through. It's perfectionism and you don't want to get it wrong. But the thing is that we don't realize how you get lost in the sauce when you over explain everything. And at the end of the day, the other person will probably be fatigued to hear every detail. And if you think about yourself, you probably don't want somebody else to give you so many details. It should be like an overview, but at the same time, delicately pull the information that are critical to the story. So how I equate this is the overthinker is sitting in one room, is a meditation room, and they're sitting in the middle, but they have tons of bees around them. And they're actually stemming from their thoughts. So there's tons of bees. You can only imagine how uncomfortable it is to sit there and have the swarm around you. You can't focus with that. You can't grasp what's happening. You can't grasp what to do. You don't know how to escape it because this is what you're existing in all the time. But somebody that is more present and doesn't have overthinking, it's just more peaceful. Equate that to somebody else sitting in a different room, pure, quiet, calm, relaxing, and they're sitting there in the middle. They're able to hear their thoughts, sense the environment. They're able to embrace new things coming in and seeing danger or seeing new opportunities or seeing people or wanting to know where they are and where to go. Whereas the person in the other room, completely identical, by the way, but this person has the swarm of bees all around them. Can't see, can't think, can't sense. You can't be in the present because there's so many annoyances everywhere. So think of every bee as a thought that comes at you at all times. If this person that had overthinking thoughts walked out of that room, walked into the other room where this person is sitting peacefully, it might be a little bit clear at that moment. And it's especially true for people that go to different places, travel, or meet new people. It's kind of like calmer and more exciting. And then as soon as you sit down, you see certain things happening because even when an overthinker tells a story, there's so much detail. You get lost in the sauce. And you can see some people struggle to have that information and give that information too. So as soon as this person sits down, you start to see more bees coming out. And that person that was sitting in peace with not as much thought becomes bothered too. So an overthinker approaches another person as a peace. It is going to affect them. Not saying it's bad or horrendous, but you can see visually, physically in this image that the energy transfers and the energy will impact other people. Other people's thoughts impact other people. Now, the person that was sitting peacefully in that room can probably withstand it for a little bit. Their common sense is that they can get up and leave and go to another room that is more peaceful, that has what they need. Whereas the person that's overthinking is still stuck with all this swarm of bees and can't see where they need to go. And even if they leave, it still goes with them, even if you find certain relief. The solution? Every bee that you notice, you pause. You try to understand why it's buzzing around you. I mean, obviously, this is super annoying, right? once you figure it out and ask the question sometimes, and it's like, welcome it in and go like, hey, why are you here? You have to take it step by step, layer by layer. Healing is layer by layer. There are so many people that think they're healed, but then it comes back again with a different kind of effect, a different impact. And we're like, I thought I healed this. But it's all in layers because our physical being and our soul level being can't actually heal all at once because it'd be too overwhelming for our mind, our soul, our emotions. So it's basically layer by layer. Same thing as learning. You take a steady step and learn slow, slow, slow. It will be fundamentally sinking into your body and mind. If you learn fast, sometimes when you do that, especially if you think about people cramming for exams, that information probably will leak out later on because it went in fast. Just take it step by step, slow down, and realize that these thoughts can hurt me if I allow them to. But is this thought real? Is this real? What are you presenting here? Oh, your anxiety about work. What are you anxious about? That you are not performing as well, or you have imposter syndrome. Oh, I see. And what does that root in? Oh, that you're not enough. Oh, where else does that go into? Oh, how I grew up, I was never enough. I was always made to feel like wrong. Wrong for speaking, wrong for being, wrong for dressing, wrong for existing. So that carries on to different areas of your life. And that's really painful for somebody. So that created more bees, more is worms. But as soon as you realize this, wow, this is the root cause. I don't feel enough, and therefore I don't feel enough at work. Therefore, I don't feel enough in my friendship or relationships. Therefore, I don't feel enough to have a certain amount of money. Or therefore, I don't feel enough to have a certain body or health or sleep habits that make me feel good, that can make me feel restored, that can make me feel happy, or take that happiness that I so willingly want and deserve and run with it and just exist in it. For somebody that's not good enough, it just feels too much to not perform, to not do, to not provide value. And therefore, it creates a kind of off spin and ripple effect of everything else. So once you figure this out, you're like, oh, that's why I don't feel good enough. You start to reflect on yourself. I accept myself for who I am, no matter what comes my way, no matter who rejects me or accepts me, I am enough. There's so many different exercises of love and self-worth affirmations. And it's really just about sitting there and being present with yourself and focusing on that because that is the goal. That is what's going to bring you the happiness. That is what's going to bring you the self-love and self-worth. That is going to diminish like the 30 bees that are swarming around you. And as soon as you realize this, those bees are going to fall off and then there's less swarm. And you continue to work yourself through it step by step, improving every day, improving every moment, 1% at a time because you're worth it. With time, you will also become like the person in another room, peaceful and able to enjoy the present without having all these thoughts nagging at you or the minute details you don't even need. Because technically, you don't need all the details of how a car is built. You know it's built solid. You don't need all the details of how many steps it took for you to take the bus and how many stops it took and like how many people you ran into or how many doors you saw. It's about telling that story. It did take 5 steps to go to the bus stop, but it was a great ride. I got to see a lot of different things and meet some interesting people. It keeps the story alive, short, easy to understand, and gives you the critical aspect of the story to tell somebody else instead of getting lost in the sauce because you realize that those people that overthink do get lost in their own story, but it also drains them because of the energy it takes to sustain the survival instinct, right?